Welcome back to the Mishpacha International Bakery. What does Mishpacha mean? Family. Family bakery. Okay, today's special. I haven't made it yet, but I've got the ingredients ready. It's beach bread. So I've got some bread, some tomatoes, some cheese, and some different spices. And I'm gonna make beach bread. I learned how to make this when I was in Florida, out on the beach. And I saw it at a little stand and I went and had it and it was so good. And this bread always makes me think about the sea and going to the sea. And so this story made me think about this bread. So I decided that this bread would be a great special for today. What story makes you think about the sea? I'll tell you. So last week we learned about how Moses went back to Egypt. He said, "Let my people go." And Pharaoh said, "No." And there were 10 plagues and Pharaoh set them free. And so they all head out into the desert and God is leading them. And he leads them with a pillar of cloud. There's a pillar of cloud up in front. And there's over 1 million of them. So it's nice, if you're way in the back of 1 million people, the big pillar of cloud makes it easy to see where you're going. And at night, he led them by a pillar of fire so they could travel in the dark too. And they were traveling out, and he led them to the edge of the sea, of the Red Sea, and they set up a camp there. Well, Pharaoh changed his mind. Pharaoh said, "Wait a second, I want them back. I don't want to let them go. I want them back. I want my slaves back." And he sent his army out after them. And they were up against the sea. What could they do? They couldn't run away. They had their back to the sea. Well, that pillar of clouds and fire that had been leading them went to the back and held back the Egyptians. It was a pillar of fire holding them back. And Moses went to the edge of the sea and he put up his hands. And God parted the sea. God parted it. And the Israelites were able to walk through on dry ground. And they crossed, all over 1 million of them, crossed to the other side. And the waters held back. And when they got to the other side, Moses put up his hands and the water came all crashing down. But that pillar of fire had disappeared when they got through. So the Egyptian army went running into the water after them, into the parted water after them. And then the water all came crashing back down and it destroyed the army. It destroyed Pharaoh's army and Moses and his people were safe on the other side. He saved them from a terrible situation. And they were safe. And they praised God. And there was a song that they sang that said, "The Lord is my strength and song. He has become my salvation." He has become my salvation. It's a great story. What does that have to do with Jesus? Well, Jesus is our salvation. God led them out of a terrible situation. They were trapped. They had nowhere to go. They were trapped and he led them out and saved them. We're trapped in a terrible situation called sin. We're trapped in our sin and there's nothing we can do to get out. But Jesus can get us out. And all we have to do is ask. All we have to do is believe. All we have to do is ask and believe. And confess our sins. And he'll forgive our sins and save us from our terrible situation. Wow. Is there anything God cannot do? No. He can do wonderful, fantastic, amazing things as long as it's according to his character. Because the one thing he can't do is go against his character. That's the one thing he can't do, is go against who he is. Is go against his character. Well, thank you so much for joining me at my bakery, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.